When I was in my mid-30s, I went through some life-changing events that made me realise just how much I hated my career choice. I spent over a decade in a career thinking that it was normal that I didn't particularly enjoy it. Feeling fed up and unmotivated was a daily norm, and I assumed that that was just what adult life was. But then everything changed. My life now has changed in ways that I never thought imaginable. I've spent the last 18 months figuring it all out. The things I have experienced have been so profound and life-changing that I can't imagine a world where I go back to being the person that I used to be. But my journey hasn't been easy. It was intense, confusing, and often scary, more so than I ever imagined. This is part one of a 3-part story, and today I want to share with you why I stayed in my old career for so long and why so many others do too. But before we get into it, some of you may have noticed that I've taken a short break from posting recently, and there is a reason for that. I've been working on something behind the scenes, which is called the Life Redesign Accelerator. The pre-launch is live, and you can join the waitlist now using the link in the description below. There will be discounts for the early birds. So let me take you back to my early 20s, when I first began my career in finance. And this was a career that I could be proud of. I saw the lights and the dazzle of the corporate ladder when I was looking up at it from the bottom. The fancy awards dues, the corporate boxes at events, music gigs and corporate days out. We worked hard and played harder. And the targets were always tough, but I had the enthusiasm and the drive to be successful, and I loved that feeling of accomplishment. And I'm not really sure when I lost that, to be honest. Looking back, I can't point an exact time when I got fed up and unmotivated. I think it must have happened gradually, and I don't think it was linear either. I had renewed enthusiasm when I started my own business in 2018, still under a corporate umbrella, but I was self-employed in finance by the age of 30. I owned my own business, I owned my own house, and I had a posh car on finance. I still played hard, but even that was starting to get a little less appealing. And after a while, again, every weekday invoked the same feelings. Unmotivated to start work, lots of heavy sighs throughout the day when another task came in that I didn't particularly want to do, and the to-do list that was never ending. But I was self-employed though, so I had the advantage that I could look at the clock at, say, 3 p.m. and think, oh, I'm so done with today, and I could just put everything off until the following day and finish. But then work backs up, and I ended up being buried under an even bigger pile the following day. My life was still enviable and well respected on paper, especially in the eyes of society, and I hung on to that a lot longer than I should have done. I even hung on to that after my mum passed away very suddenly and very young at 55. And that was the first chink in my armour. I nearly packed it all in then, but the people around me convinced me that I should return to work and not make any hasty decisions while I was grieving. And of course that made sense, so I did. But work was harder than ever, and I was trapped because I couldn't see a way out. I couldn't see any other options at the time, and I didn't even know what I wanted. So I just coasted along for about 18 months, and then grief hit me again. And this time it was my boyfriend of 1 year who passed away. And for me, it was a case of enough is enough. I had a chink in my armour already, and this time it just cracked wide open. And I knew that I would be living on the streets before I allowed myself to spend the majority of my waking life feeling fed up and unmotivated again. They say that when you hit rock bottom, change is inevitable, and rock bottom looks different for everyone. Some people can change before they get there. For me, this was my rock bottom, and it was late in 2023, and all of a sudden I just had a blank canvas in front of me, which was the rest of my life. And there is a reason why I'm sharing this story with you. My life redesign came from rock bottom, but it doesn't have to for everyone. If I knew then what I know now, I would have redesigned my life a lot sooner. And since I've been working with people that are ready to redesign their lives, I've seen time and time again that the same excuses as to why people stay stuck in careers that they hate. And I've said all of these excuses myself. It pays the bills. What else would I do? It's too late to change. And I've heard those excuses from others too. But there's an underlying hidden reason. It's the only reason. All of those others are just excuses, but this is the actual reason. You stay stuck because it's expected of you. In our society, it is normal to sacrifice most of your adult life to unfulfilling work of some kind. Nobody is pointing out how ridiculous that is, which means no one questions it. And when you do, you're told that it's reckless or only for other people but not for you. Very few people will challenge the narrative of society. You have to work hard, you have to strive for more money, promotions, more status, more power, but that really is ridiculous. It's the recipe for unhappiness, mental health issues, and staying stuck. Back in my early 20s, I suited my career choice and I loved it. But I changed, I evolved. And shouldn't we allow our external world to change and evolve along with our internal one? Society says no, but I say yes, we should. We absolutely should. And if you say yes too, then you might be interested in my Life Redesign Accelerator. You can sign up to the waitlist with the link down below in the description. The accelerator is for people who are ready to rewrite their narrative. It could be a career change, living alternatively, or starting a new business that might be your calling. I have lived it firsthand, and I've successfully helped other people to redesign their lives too. But this is the first time that I've taken the exact processes that worked for me and for them and put it into a structured program. And early birds to the program will receive a discount. So watch out for my next video, the crazy truth about redesigning your life.